What if Gabriel and Layla ended up together in Your Arms? Hi. A lot of you seem to like the idea of Gabriel and Layla being together ever since season 1. Therefore today we'll be discussing what would have actually happened if me, Thainmer, and Fresherr wrote the script so that Gabriel and Layla ended up together. If you have watched our 10 facts about In Your Arms video, you most likely remember that we wanted Gabriel to be Boo originally. However, we're putting that aside and sticking to the regular plotline that we used in Your Arms. Therefore, everything is as it was in the series as you saw it when you watched it, with a slight exception. Gabriel ending up with Layla. So, let's start. Firstly, it would have happened in season 1. Similarly to how it happened with David. However, there is one key difference here. Gabriel was Layla's roommate, so if we were to write him to end up with Layla, it would most likely be somewhere throughout the middle of the season before Layla has the chance to move out into the girls' dorm and go live with Naomi. So it would be something along the lines of Gabriel and Diego competing, Layla choosing David, which was actually our original plan for the series, but we kind of moved it away because we thought that we had more interesting ideas. Season 1 has 12 episodes, so their relationship would probably begin somewhere at around episode 6. So the rest of the episodes would be a showcase of their relationship, what's happening inside, the ups and downs. Now the golden question here, would their relationship work out? To be honest, I am not really sure. The reason why David and Layla's relationship ended was because David had to go back home because of work. However, that isn't really applicable for Gabriel. You see, the thing with David is, ever since season 1, it is hinted that he has to work in order to maintain a lifestyle. So, he works as a barista, and as he mentions, because that doesn't pay enough on school grounds, he also works as a barman or a waiter or whatever in one of the restaurants where Layla and Justin caught their parents making out. Basically, what I'm trying to say here, for David, the fact that he has to work is rooted in ever since season 1. Gabriel, we would have to find a different circumstance if we want to end their relationship in the beginning of season 2. Now, I will take the time to explain why we decided that Layla and David would break up in the beginning of season 2. And then we'll discuss whether Layla and Gabriel would have broken up in the beginning of season 2. Why did Layla and David break up? Well, it was because we felt that even though their relationship was fresh, it happened in episode 12, even though they kissed in, I think it was episode 7, it was fresh. However, since the whole season 1 was spent building up a relationship between David and Layla, we decided that people would get tired of it. Plus, you know, there has to be some new romance in the series when we have a season 2, and in any other plotline, yes, their relationship could continue working, it could be interesting as well, and technically I think that we could have made it work in Your Arms as well. However, keep in mind that ever since the start we wanted In Your Arms to be very relaxing, we wanted it to be about teenagers doing dumb stuff, about them making mistakes, so it was really fitting that we do it. If Gabriel and Layla were to break up in the beginning of season 2, it would have been another circumstance, most likely one that occurred back in season 1. Maybe Gabriel cheated, even though it really isn't in Gabriel's nature to do something like that. He's a really nice guy and I don't think he would ever do something like that. Oh, whoops, I'm famous. Alternatively, instead of their relationship ending right as season 2 begins, as it was the case with David, what if she meets Kai, she falls in love with Kai, and she is faced with one of the hardest choices she has to make in the plot of the series, which is choosing between Gabriel, her boyfriend, and between Kai. Now, any reasonable person would choose Gabriel, first of all, because you shouldn't cheat. Second of all, because she's going home with Gabriel after that. And David even said it to her that she will have to go back home to America, and Kai will be left back in Australia. However, that didn't stop her, and I suppose that the story would end with something similar to the ending that we currently have of the series. So it would be, instead of her having to basically say goodbye to Kai, it would be her saying goodbye to Kai again, however having Gabriel by her side. So I think that it would have been a bit more of a sad ending, because what I imagine is she would basically all of this time compress all of her emotions into herself, even though she isn't completely that kind of person. But let's just imagine that she's very in love with Gabriel, that she doesn't want that to change, because with David there was one very important factor. Even though she was very in love with him, he wasn't next to her for the whole summer. So Gabriel would have been next to her the whole summer, which would strengthen their bond, which is something very, very important that we should mention. So, as I said, the ending would be sad. It would be her compressing all of her emotions into herself and trying not to burst out crying while saying goodbye to Kai. So it would have been a summer which she spent being in love with both Gabriel and Kai, potentially being more in love with Kai so that it's a bit more interesting, and then having to say goodbye to all of that, having to bottle that up inside her and basically leave Kai behind without anything but, let's say, a few romantic moments happening between them in a romantic aspect. And it would basically be this unlived dream of her to be with Kai. What if she missed her chance? What if it was something better than Gabriel? And to be honest, I also like this storyline, this version of the storyline, because it's fitting for Layla. As we know, Layla is a person who is very impulsive. She listens to her emotions and to her heart, not her head, which technically there isn't always something bad in that. Sometimes it's better to listen to your emotions, to what your intuition says. But I think it was really interesting for me to reflect on what would have happened if we were to write the story in a different way. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you liked it. Bye. See ya. Oh, by the way, if you like it enough, maybe, just maybe, there could be a special video, basically like an altered finale, because I have seen other roleplays do it. An altered finale of In Your Arms, which depicts what would have happened if Gabriel and Layla were together, giving you some food for thought. Bye!